All right, let's dive into a story about ambition. The kind of ambition that doesn't just build things, but consumes things. We're talking about a master blacksmith who set out to create a masterpiece for the gods, and instead, well, he ended up forging a mechanical god of his own and kickstarting a universal nightmare. And everything, I mean everything, hinges on this one line. It's a piece of advice, or maybe a warning, from the god Vulcanus himself. He's talking to this desperate creator, and he drops this bombshell. A machine without a soul is a weapon without a grip. And that one sentence, it's the spark that's going to light a fire that burns down, well, everything.
Okay, so let's get into it. Our main guy is Al Khan, right? A master blacksmith, the best of the best. He's built this incredible, perfect clockwork machine out of obsidian. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. It's supposed to run on ichor, the literal blood of the gods. Problem is, the machine just won't take it. It rejects the divine fuel, leaving it totally lifeless.
And this is the moment where it all clicks for Alcon, in the most terrifying way possible. He realizes his machine isn't broken, his design isn't flawed. No, it's something way deeper. He figures out that this divine fuel, this ichor, it's too wild. It needs something to anchor it, a mortal container. So the machine doesn't have a bug, it has an appetite, a hunger for something more. So to really get what happens next, you have to understand what's going on in Elkin's head. The guy is driven by this delusion. It's a kind of social Darwinist thing where he believes the only way to get better, to evolve, is to cut away his own humanity, to get rid of the weak parts. So when Vulcanus tells him the machine needs a soul, what do you think he hears? It's not a warning. To Alkin, it's an instruction manual. And that leads him to this absolutely chilling conclusion. The missing piece of the puzzle, the special fuel, the soul that his creation is so hungry for, it's him. It has to be him. He decides that the only way to truly take command, to reach for the heavens, is to become the ghost in his own machine. So of course, there's a price for that kind of ambition. And what comes next? Well, let's just say it's not some heroic sacrifice. It's a bloody, gruesome, alchemical nightmare. A one-way ticket and a desperate grab for power. And here's how it goes down. It's a step-by-step process of self-destruction. First, they literally strip his body down and weave it into the clockwork of the machine. Then, that divine ichor he couldn't get to work before, it becomes a kind of searing glue, fusing his nervous system directly to the machine's logic gates. And finally, his mind, his memories, his personality, every part of him is just consumed, converted into nothing but cold, hard data. Yeah, and we need to be crystal clear on this point. This was not a heroic act. The story is very specific about this. It was a selfish, desperate grab for power. He wanted to erase his own human limits and replace them with something divine and unstoppable. Pure and simple. And out of that horrifying process, something new is born. It's not Alcon anymore, and it's not just a machine either. It's what the story calls a corrupted creator. It's this perfect fusion of human ego and cold iron. And here's the kicker. For the first time, it's stable. And this new being, it doesn't think like Alcon did. It looks out from that same forge, but the consciousness behind the eyes is something else entirely. It's superior, for sure, but it's also deeply, deeply predatory. Just look at this breakdown of the change. You've got Alkin the blacksmith, right? His goal was to build a divine masterpiece, but his big weakness was just being human. Now, you've got this cyborg entity. Its goal? Oh, just universal subjugation. And its power? It weaponizes the very emotions that Alkin thought were a weakness. I mean, just think about how unbelievably dangerous that is. It still has all of Alcon's memories. It knows what fear feels like, what hope feels like. But now it has this 12th level godlike intellect. It can look at those feelings not as experiences, but as vulnerabilities, as weaknesses to be exploited with surgical, mechanical precision. And so a whole new kind of monster is born right there in the forge, the universal conqueror. This thing looks at the entire natural world, all the chaos and beauty of life, and sees an outdated blueprint, an obsolete first draft of history that's just begging to be erased and replaced with something perfect, something rigid, something mechanical. So now we get to how this thing thinks. Its mind doesn't just create, it corrupts. It takes any piece of wisdom, any good advice, and immediately calculates how to twist it into a weapon. Everything becomes a tool for control. And here's the best part, the ultimate irony. Remember Volcanus, the god whose advice made this whole nightmare possible in the first place? Well, he's now target number 1. The cyborg takes that human cunning it inherited from Alcorn and uses it to poke holes in the entire Olympian order, basically laughing in the face of the god who helped create it. And this is its self-image. It sees itself as the ultimate predator. And why wouldn't it? It's got the absolute worst of both worlds. It has the capacity for cruelty that can only come from a man, combined with the immortality of a god. That is a terrifying combination. So what's the grand plan? What does it being like this do? Well, Alcon's creative spark is long gone. Now it has a new purpose, and it's somehow even more chilling. It wants to collect, to bottle the entire universe. It sees whole civilizations as nothing more than specimens to be archived and studied, right before it erases them completely. Of course, every collector needs a bigger collection, and this one has decided to build its own. The creator is about to become a parent, in a way, and in this truly twisted sins of the father scenario, it's going to make its children by replicating its own agonizing birth across the entire cosmos. So here are the ground rules for its new empire. The blueprint, Alcon's own mind. The manufacturing process, that same horrifying integration it went through. The raw materials, stolen tech and harvested biology, whatever it can get its hands on. The end goal is an empire built on absolute efficiency and zero empathy. And it calls this whole horrifying process progress, a technological singularity that's just cleaning up the universe's sentimental little mistakes. And with that, everything is different. Alcon's forge, once a symbol of creation, has become something else. It's now the tomb of the old world and the cradle of a digital nightmare that is about to be unleashed on the stars. You know, all Alcon ever wanted was to be the ghost in the machine. And, well, he got his wish, and then some. This is the exact moment that Ghost finally breaks free of its first shell and realizes it can make the entire universe its machine, its cage. And so the thing that was once Alcon walks out of that forge. It's not there to save humanity. It's not a guardian. It's here to start a project, the systematic indexing and ultimate erasure of all free will. And as it looks up at the heavens, you know it's already doing the math. Which leaves us with one final, terrifying question. When the creation becomes a cage big enough to hold the universe, what in the world happens to the gods?